What's up, Bob? Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all for that great welcome. Thanks to you, we've won a great victory tonight here in the 4th District of Arkansas. It's a victory we all hope for, maybe a little larger than we expected. There's a lot of races left around the country tonight whose fates we don't yet know. But here in Arkansas tonight, we have struck a blow for the spirit of 1776, the spirit of liberty. It is alive and well in 2012. Because this campaign, from the very beginning, has been about more than what our government spends, more than what we pay in taxes, as important as those things are. The campaign has been about the future of self-government in America, about returning our government to its constitutional roots, about reasserting our natural, God-given rights, and reviving the spirit of free enterprise in America. As I did in the U.S. Army once before, tonight I give you my solemn oath that in Congress I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the spirit of our beloved republic. That oath is a great privilege and humbling honor for me. It brings to mind the debt of gratitude we owe to all those who came before us in America, as well as the debts that I owe to so many in this room. To all of you for your hard work over the last 15 months. To my campaign team, who when we started this race had as much political experience as I did. None. To my mom and my dad for their love and guidance. Growing up on our small farm in Yell County, they always did what was right for my sister, Sarah, and me, although not necessarily what we thought was right. But to my sister as well for her support and her friendship. Finally, I'm grateful above all to the people of Arkansas who've bestowed on me a great honor and given me a great trust. Whether you voted for me tonight or not, I look forward to serving you in the United States Congress. This district is used to sending Democrats to Washington. Now we will send a Republican. But just as sure as Grant County, Arkansas is named after another ex-soldier who went to Washington as a Republican, so too you can be sure that whatever your party, I will serve you equally and faithfully in the United States Congress. Our fellow citizens today all across America for the 113th time have cast their ballots under our Constitution. This simple and majestic act brings home the central truth of our republic, that we're all created equal in God's eyes, and that we should be under the law. In too many places around the world today, that is still not the case. But here in America, it doesn't matter who your parents are or who their parents were, what you do or where you're from. All that matters is that you believe in that founding principle and you're an American at heart. You can find opportunity here to fulfill your dreams, to build a better life for yourself and for your family. Too often, politicians in both parties have lost faith in that founding principle. They misuse the power of government to aid the politically connected and the privileged. They raise up artificial distinctions among citizens where none should exist. Or they grant preferences and favors to flawed ideas. Because when politicians try to pick winners, they almost always pick losers. The best ideas don't need the aid of government to win in a free economy. And when all that happens, we're left with the bill. Less opportunity, less prosperity, less liberty. More important, though, the next generation, who are as much a part of America as we are, as our forefathers are left with the bill. There's no justice in that. Abraham Lincoln explained long ago that it's the same struggle between right and wrong that we've seen since the beginning of time. The same old serpent that says, "You work and I eat." Let us today rededicate ourselves to the spirit of the Constitution that says we will secure the blessings of liberty, not only for ourselves, but also and especially for the next generation. 11 generations of Americans before us have done that for us. We owe them and the next generation nothing less. I'm mindful tonight, though, that we would have nothing to pass on to the next generation if it wasn't for the courage and the sacrifice of our men and women in the armed forces. They stand guard tonight in Afghanistan and all around the world, just as they have since Lexington and Concord. From the Minutemen who toppled the mightiest empire in the world to the volunteers who held the Union together, so their heirs, like my dad and his dad, could save the world from Nazi and Soviet tyranny, to the 9/11 generation today. We owe them all a debt of gratitude too great to ever repay. But we can begin to repay it if we follow their example in Washington. Shortly after I began this campaign, an elderly woman came up to me and she said, "You were in the Army, right?" And I said, "Yeah, I was." And she said, "Now you're running for Congress." And I said, "Yes, ma'am, I am." And she said, "Well, why would you want to leave the country's most respected institution for the country's least respected institution?" And lately, it's a sad fact that our political institutions have lost the respect of our fellow citizens. Our troops, on the other hand, are respected not only for what they do, fight and win our nation's wars, but also for who they are, the character that they display. If our political leaders demonstrated some of the same virtues, like integrity and honor and courage, our political institutions will regain that lost respect. As it is, one of the most common questions I got asked on the campaign was, "Will Washington change you?" I don't think they meant that in a good way. Perhaps change has developed a bad taste after 4 years of Barack Obama. But too often, those we send to Washington do change there, and not in a way that General Washington would have approved of. 7 years ago today, I reported to the U.S. Army Ranger School. Every day at that school, we recited the Ranger Creed to remind us of the high standards set for us. I remember the lessons of that creed very well. I will take those lessons with me to Washington in hopes of changing that town, not being changed by it. I volunteered, knowing full well the hazards of my chosen profession. I will set the example for others to follow. My country expects more of me. I will shoulder more than my share of the task, whatever it may be. And I will fight on to the Ranger objective and complete the mission, though I be the lone survivor. And what is our mission today? Every soldier knows. It's to pass on what we've been given in better shape than we found it. And what have we been given? A country that has brought more prosperity and more liberty to more people than any other in the history of the world. That country was born from the sacrifice of our forefathers, who knew that government should be limited, that it should treat its citizens as equals, and it should protect a private sphere of economic freedom and religious liberty. Those are the principles that will guide me in Congress, and those are the principles that will restore America's greatness. No doubt we've had a lot of challenges recently, and I cannot promise that we are going to overcome those challenges in the next year or even the next Congress, because they have been building for many ways for decades. Nor can I promise that you'll always agree with my votes, because what I owe each of you is my judgment, my conscience, and my unbiased opinion. But I do promise that together we will complete the mission We will overcome these challenges. We will build a better future. And we will pass on a legacy of liberty that is greater still than the one that we inherited. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you for your support. God bless you, and may God continue to bless the United States of America. Thank you.